your name popped up as one of the. There's a name and a video.
Number one, we didn't design those clothes.
Yeah.
We were not brought in as designers.
Yeah.
We were brought in to look at the submissions that had been brought in.
How much money did they pay you guys
What
as a
money?
consultancy?
Oh my God.
Have you not been paid?
My first paying styling job,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
I got paid 1K, and it was to dress a corpse.
A corpse.
Yes, for a funeral.
A corpse.
Yes.
Okay.
I did a risk investment. I put money with a Shylock.
With a
I
Shylock.
invested money.
You
with
knew
a
that they
Shylock.
were a Shylock.
Yes. AI is coming for everyone's job.
Yeah.
Literally everyone's.
Yeah.
So it's just how to figure out how to incorporate AI to whatever you're already doing.
Welcome back to Financially Incorrect. I am your host, Barrack, and I'm really looking forward to the conversation we're going to have today. As usual, this podcast is proudly sponsored by FX Pesa. If you'd like to learn or know anything about trading, and you'd like to do it virtually, please check out all the links in the description box. If you'd like to do it physically, remember they have classes ongoing at Thika Eldoret, in Kampala, in Nakuru, at all of their offices, and soon, very soon, going to be in Dar. I think I won't say a timeline, but very soon they're going to be in Dar. If you'd like to attend or learn anything about trading, if you'd like to have a demo account or an actual trading account, please check all the links in the description box. Today we're exploring an industry that we haven't before. I think we've been able to talk to many professionals and sort of even creatives and people in the creative space. But today we're going to get into the fashion space a little. I am honored. I think I've known this person for now since 2018. I think 2018, yeah? It's been like, how many years? That's 6 years now? Anyway, but I'm honored. I have probably, arguably, I would go so far as say arguably the top stylist in the country, possibly in the region. He has done really, really cool projects for Sauti Sol that I know that I'm aware of. He'll tell us a bit more about the different things that he's done. He'll tell us about how he makes money in the fashion space as a stylist. So welcome to the show, Brian Babu.
Welcome. Asante.
I need to bring this whatever up here. Yeah, I need to bring this broadcast up so that I can press those buttons. Yeah. Uko salama?
Niko fiti, wewe?
Yeah. Niko salama pia. Thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Collins recruited you and brought you on here, but we are happy nonetheless. we are looking for you. You are not responding to our chats, our calls.
So
over
time, it's weird. I don't know what to say in interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually like, do I want to do an interview?
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah.
I guess because I look at what I do as just work.
Yeah.
I never see. I think over time, sometimes you get so used to doing what you're doing, and you don't see it as a big of a deal.
Yeah.
And then even with the interviews, like, why is it like such a big deal? Why do you want me to come and talk about my work and my journey and everything? But I guess sometimes it's good to stock take, because even as we was just before we started, like, you guys were asking me about projects, and I was like, wow, I actually don't keep that much track anymore.
Yeah, of the different things that you do.
Yeah, and then also, like, I think over time, as my career has grown, everything is very high. The stakes are always high every time. So there isn't like a small project anymore, or a project that needs less attention. Everything is high stakes.
And
like
important.
Someone is performing for a president, or someone is going to this thing, or someone is announcing this album. So everything has to always look great and on top. So I think over time you don't see it as a big deal, because it's just part of the pressure of work.
Okay. I want to actually start with because just before we started, videographer over here was trying to hate on me because of the Marvin that I'm wearing, but you're also wearing one, you know. So I have a question, because I've been seeing this trend on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, wearing versus styling. So am I wearing, and are you styling yours, and is mine wearing?
I think it's
a
bit of both.
It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just like, you see with this fold, that's styling.
This is
that's
Justin.
styling. That's a bit styling.
Yeah.
If you had just like placed it.
Yeah.
See, like now mine is just placed.
Well, I mean, it's not just placed. Yeah. You have like that fold, whatever going on. I mean, it looks cool. It looks cool.
Yeah, but also it's very cold.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear this on just a normal day.
Just on a regular whatever.
It's very cold.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I have to start with it's not even a scandal. I wouldn't. It's obviously it's not a scandal, but I have to start with the issues that were brought to your doorstep. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Will this stop haunting me?
2 or 3 weeks
My
ago.
Lord.
Yeah. Of course, the Kenya team is heading over to the Olympics. It's a fantastic time to be able to showcase stuff about our country and show our style and designs and all of those things. And so obviously the Ministry of Sports is in charge of that mandate. And they created, at the end of the day, what was produced was something that left a lot to be desired, right? From the Kenyan perspective, and I would agree, right? And then slowly, people who participated in the process or people who were involved in the process, their names were being dropped on Twitter, because right now we're in the space of accountability. We're in the space of we want to understand what exactly is going on, and so your name popped up as one of the. There's a name and a video. Name and a video had popped up as one of the people who were part of the committee that went into the process of this final thing.
First, I think that thing was very targeted.
You think so?
It was. I think it was being used as a deflection from the pressure. I don't want to say who.
Okay.
I don't want to start saying.
Right.
Because the person who said, yeah, you need to ask these people and threw our names on the internet.
Yeah.
After I did my statement, they deleted the post.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And the person who started that chain, are they connected in any way to the ministry? Was it? You never know.
We shall never know.
Okay.
Will we ever know?
Okay.
Shall never know.
So you think they were trying to change the attention from the ministry to now you guys?
Shift blame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know 2 other people who are on that committee, because I have an auntie who's on there. Lucy Rao is my auntie.
Your auntie?
Yeah. I don't
Shout
know
out
what that,
to Lucy.
I don't know what that laugh is.
Do you know Lucy put me on my first flight?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ah.
Lucy was the first person who made me
Leave
board
this
an
country
aeroplane
for what?
for a fashion thing
Yeah.
in Bujumbura.
Okay.
Yeah, I can remember it was in 2014.
Yeah.
And I went to Bujumbura for the very first edition of Bujumbura Fashion Week.
I feel like I should even call her Auntie Lucy, because I'm like she's like my mom's brother's wife. So anyway, so then obviously, because Liz who's even been on this podcast as well. Anyway, so tell us, what I mean. I know you put out your statement and said that you had very limited.
I think there are a lot of factors that people don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
And again, since people want to, I get it, people are trying to get accountability and everything, but it's important how people need to understand a lot of things that happen. Number one, we didn't design those clothes.
Yeah.
We were not brought in as designers.
Yeah.
We were brought in to look at the submissions that had been brought in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even as they brought us in February, I told them, I said in the call when I said, this is a little bit late. This is work that should have been done last year.
So this thing started this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Work should be done last year. However, we can make it work quickly if we'd be fast. Mm-hmm. Secondly, there were submissions. So whether good or bad, whatever the submissions were there, we had to work within
what was there,
what was presented.
Yeah.
Okay. So when guys are like, there are better designs, no one submitted their designs for the competition.
Yeah.
Not everyone. Like, even I know like very many designers who I think are amazing and who I think can do so much. People didn't submit designs.
Did that have anything to do with the cash being awarded? Because I had a conversation with someone, I will not say who was on that committee, and they told me that they felt that was part of the challenge because the cash prize or the monies that were being awarded was not incentive enough for the top designers to be like, this is a project I want to participate in. Because it was 300,000, was it?
I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the cash prize. I just think like people who have dealt with the Gava don't want to touch Gava again. Me included. I
now you're
just like I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what you'd need to convince me to
touch another government project.
Gava project, because I was just like, that is some crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what that
So people just did not submit good designs. There were just no good designs.
There were good designs.
Yeah.
There were designs. Let's say I don't want to be the person saying.
No, I mean it has to be subjective. If something's good or bad.
I feel like the designs were there.
Yeah.
There was a lot of other factors. The designs were there, even from what we shortlisted.
Yeah.
Even what was picked, the designs were there.
Yeah.
There are a lot of factors, again, with this specific uniform that were different, which I have to actually give credit to the ministry.
Okay.
Because they involved the athletes in even the selection process.
Okay.
Yeah, they did involve the athletes.
Okay.
Like athletes, I feel like Kenyans want what they want. At the end of the day, the athletes are the ones who are wearing those clothes.
Yes.
So their say is...
So they had a choice. They had a say in the matter.
Yeah, they were like, we don't want this, we don't want this. And there are things they just picked out, and there are things they picked as options from what we had shortlisted.
Okay.
Yeah. So after we submitted the shortlist and everything, things went how they went. Production was done in a very short period. Mm-hmm. Because what people witnessed were supposed to be like samples. Were samples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you, let me ask you, because I know that you were on the ground protesting and the finance bill the first day of the protests. I know I saw videos where you were there. And my sister-in-law also told me that she saw you. So you are participating in this process of holding the government accountable and stuff like that. So in this context now of when people started talking about the attire, when did you know that, or when did you first think, okay, this thing is going to come to my door, this accountability thing?
I knew it in April before.
Oh, you knew it was going to come.
I knew it was coming. I just didn't know to what magnitude.
Yeah.
Because I could already see the delay. And our faces are already plastered on social media.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
this thing is going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thoughts when now it's actually landed at your door, what were your first thoughts? Because it took you maybe 24 hours, 48 hours before you actually put out the statement?
It took me like 6-8 hours.
Oh, to really, or from
Not
when?
really, actually. It didn't take that long.
Yeah.
Because my name cropped up at 12. I did the statement at 6 p.m.
So within 6 hours, you're like, this is...
Because it was like guys became personal.
Yeah.
Guys left Twitter, they're now coming to Instagram.
Yeah.
They're like, mbona unavalisha athletes wetu manguo mbwakni?
Yeah.
Like it was just like,
yeah,
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was a lot. I know people don't want to usually act like, being trolled.
I mean, Connie left Twitter, if I'm not wrong, and then
she's back.
And then came back. Yeah,
she's back.
It had got.
It was very nasty. It was very nasty, and even with her, they got so personal.
Yeah.
They went after her family.
Okay.
That's
unfortunate.
It's a bit
worth
mad.
it. How much money did they pay you guys as a
money?
consultancy?
Oh my God!
Have you not been paid?
You want to tell me 30K and this is the thing. This is the thing, and people want to focus on payment. So when we got there, the thing was, we asked, was like, is there remuneration
for participating? Yeah.
For participating. Yep. If there isn't, let us know.
So that we know that we are doing it for patriotic.
You're just like, you're like, I'm here to serve my country. This is what we are doing.
Yeah.
And happily, I would have done it, and it wasn't a problem for me. So they said, yeah, there's remuneration, and there wasn't like any communication about it. So when we started getting ghosted and the communication, there wasn't like proper communication. I'll talk based on my experience. One day and then it's so funny because I don't know if Gava imagines that you're not doing any other thing. So they call you to things in the evening for tomorrow. Yeah. This podcast was planned for 2 weeks. Right?
Yeah.
They would text you at 6 or 4 p.m. and say, hey, we need you here tomorrow at this time. Then it's like, guys, I actually
I
run my own business, so I have to meet clients and be, So they invited us for something. I think it was 100 days to Olympics. They sent an invite. Then I was like, if I have time, I'll come. If I finish work early, because it was an evening thing.
Yeah.
If not,
tough.
Yeah. So I managed to finish the things I had to do that day early and left. So in the course of the day, a number sent me 30K. No message, no nothing.
No
it's
reference.
There wasn't just like, I was just sent 30K in silence. So when I got to the grounds, one of the people in the committee was like, hey, did you receive some money? I was like, yeah, I received 30K. I didn't understand what it was for.
Yeah.
I thought it was a client. I was just waiting to know which client, because I don't know that person. It's like, yeah, I called the number. It's money from the ministry. I'm like, so what is the 30K for? Is it for the session? What is it, a deposit? Like, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, I would, and I asked, and nothing was written back or responded back to in that context.
And so that was that.
That was like, it was just, I was like, I guess, literally that's what happened. I feel like people are hoping. However, a figure cropped up online. On that thread. That's why I'm like, the thread was deleted.
What was the figure?
Because
I didn't actually see that
they
one.
They said 150. I was like, that's how I knew someone had probably leaked this information from. It's either the ministry directly or someone gave a third party the information, because then that's when I figured, I guess we're supposed to be paid 150. And
there's a 120 balance that hasn't...
not balance, but there's a 120 that someone probably just...
Oh, it came out, but it didn't reach...
So it was on that... That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just realized, because I was like, okay, now you have managed to breathe.
Yeah.
Just go and revisit and see what...
Yeah.
The post was deleted.
Okay.
The post was deleted. So, like, because the person was like, oh, the whole thing is costing 150 million. Like, it was a lot. The person who did the breakdown had given a lot of details that even me, who was part of the project, didn't have.
Okay.
So, I guess,
Okay.
So, after silence and after the stuff with I didn't know, we were just told, oh, the costumes are ready, guys. We are launching them. Again, same thing. We are launching them. Come, and someone from the office really calls, like, we think you should really be there. You should come and see them. So I was skeptic, but then I was like, just go see. So I went to see. Gosh, my phone is really ringing. I went to see, and there's like, the moment they were just saying, was like, this is not good.
Yeah.
This is not good. Even before the images hit the internet.
Yeah.
This is not.
It's gonna be chaos.
This is gonna be chaos.
Okay. Yeah, final question on this, huh? And this I'm bringing it out from the Twitter community that I saw people talking about their obsession with the Maasai shukas in the designs and constantly what seems like constantly borrowing only from the Maasai tribe and the Maasai culture as a representation of Kenya. So even in the designs that you guys got, were all of them just in that theme?
Not all of them.
Yeah.
That specific one was because ideally the dress was supposed to have beadwork.
Okay.
Along the
Right.
the details. The details you'll see, and they're supposed to have beadwork, but now it's been done with embroidery.
Yeah.
Again, I guess it's because of time and everything. Based on what we had discussed at that was there. Like when we were shortlisting everything, that design was supposed to be beadwork.
Yeah.
There is, again, not all great designers submitted their designs.
Yeah.
And there were things that the ministry had also listed that need requirements that the designs needed to meet.
Right.
If the design didn't meet those requirements, and so if something didn't have any culture in it,
it didn't make it.
It didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was because, again, we were brought in on rules that had already been set on how to judge the pieces and make the shortlist.
Yeah. Okay.
And people are clowns. I feel like sometimes Kenyans need to be a bit serious. Because like some guys were pulling Rurashio clothes and sending them as submissions.
Right.
For real, I'm just not saying it. It's just like you sit. We sat for the first 2 sessions, and it was painful
to go through the designs.
Go through the things that people had sent.
Yeah.
It was hard.
How many submissions were there? Do you remember?
There was a lot. It was almost 100 over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of submissions.
Yeah.
I don't remember but it was a lot. Like, it was a lot. Like, people would just put T-shirts. Someone even put like the current, like the was it? It's called honeycomb. The thing.
Yes.
Someone submitted that as a thing that they're going to do. So it's like, it wasn't original. It wasn't mini. It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't going to work with like Paralympics. Like, a lot of those things people were not considering when they were sending.
That stuff. Okay. Well,
so a lot. There's a lot that was happening, and I know like guys are, again, I'm the accountability part 100% for people. But there are a lot of other things behind the scenes. I could see people generating AI, like, this would be great, this would be great. I'm like, yeah, but no one submitted. The call was out.
Yeah.
And no one submitted.
People didn't submit.
So, like, there are just the few people who submitted.
That's what happened.
There was even a point where the committee was like, or should we just not use the whole thing and get another designer? Then they said it would be a waste of money because
they had already started their process.
That's process.
Tough. I guess this life is not. It's not easy. Yeah. It's not easy. All right, let's get into it now. Where did you grow up? Where did you grow up? How did you grow up? Were you looking back now? Do you think you were stylish as you grew up?
Growing up, I think I was.
You think so?
I think I was.
Yeah.
I think I was. My mom owned a tailoring business before she died. So I grew up in many places. I didn't grow up in one place. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I have very many influences from across Nairobi. So I grew up in K-South. I grew up in Embakasi. I've grown up in Kangemi. I've grown up in Jamu.
And are these relatives that you'd be staying with?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What makes you say that you are stylish?
Because I just was.
No, tell us something like what? Yeah.
I had an obsession with clothes and magazines and TV shows. Of course, with a lot of it came from my mom because she used to dress us nicely.
Right.
And my brother used to wear twinning clothes and stuff like that. And then over time, when I started going to the tailoring business, I started making small to clothes with the small scraps of fabric at the store. So I sort of had a feel for fashion. And before, and I don't know if people focus a lot on their church outfits now as kids, but
Sunday
it used
best.
to be as a big deal, Sunday best. And spend the better part of Saturday afternoon putting together a look for Sunday. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What was money like for you guys?
I think money was not a thing we were allowed to touch growing up. It wasn't a bad thing, but it was not something we easily had access to. I think until I was 12, when I left. No, not really. I think until I was 11, when I went to boarding school. That's when I sort of had
money.
How
old were you when your mom passed?
9.
You were 9.
Yeah.
Okay. So, when you're now saying that you're coming across money at 11, 12, do you notice a change in your money situation, so to speak, when your mom was there and now when you're living with relatives?
I think a lot changes because it's not the same. It really isn't the same when you're living with relatives. Their kids are, of course, a priority sometimes with certain things, and just like.
Do you think it's a big sacrifice? For the relative.
I think it is. I think also, as I've grown up now, I realize it's a huge undertaking to take
care of someone's kids.
Yeah, it's a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
I think no one, and even like, I think there's that, and then there's also the part where no one tells the kid like life is about to change, things are about to shift. You sort of are passed around to just move and sit with the family, and yeah.
And do you think you were being passed around because of a money thing, or was it?
I don't think it was a
behavior
money thing.
or was it like, were you difficult?
I wasn't difficult. I would say I was misunderstood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why misunderstood?
I am very outgoing.
Okay.
As a person, I am very, very outgoing, and I'm very outgoing. So that comes off as misunderstood in a lot of ways. They're like, I don't know if you can stay with this person.
What are the things that you would do that would qualify you as this outgoing person that may be difficult to stay with?
Hey,
do you have an example?
Do I want to unpack that right now?
One story.
I don't
to give
think
us some
there's
context.
one story. There's just like a lot. I think the initial family, we just weren't a good fit.
Okay.
And then when I moved to stay with my uncle, he had to go and live in the States. So I had to move to another family. And then now with that other family, we sort of moved. We didn't move as much now. We sort of just changed places of staying. So it wasn't really, I think after the third family, I just sort of settled.
Yeah.
And then we sort of moved places where we lived. So that in itself sort of built a lot of influence and things that I learned from various living spaces and various things. Yeah.
So was it like potentially, like you would, I don't know, like go and play with the neighbors' kids and people are more reserved? Or you were loud in the house and people were more quiet, or I don't know, you were used to the way you grew up from 0 to 9 and had certain house rules, and now it was difficult to adapt to these other ones.
I just wanted a lot more and hoped for a lot more, if that made sense. Yeah. I wanted like that. They're like, oh, why can't we have this like this? Why can't I have this like this? Because my mother was a person who used to provide a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Then, so now you can't have those things the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So I guess you're going to boarding school?
I went to boarding school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the concept of pocket money
comes in there,
where you're given money, and I never used to spend it, sort of keep it, to use it at home, or at times I'd spend all of it. So it was.
And even so, when you're keeping it at home, keeping it to use it at home, were you keeping it to try and get these things that you wanted that you were not able to get now?
I think it was more of a fun for fun things.
Okay.
With like my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a game.
Okay. Yeah. And so, are you in boarding school from 11 to?
No, I'm in boarding school for for only 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in and you're out.
I'm in and out.
Okay.
Then now with when we moved to Kangemi now, I used to go to school in Westlands. So there was now money for transport. and probably money for break or for lunch. So you sort of now start getting used to that kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so if we sort of fast forward a little bit to get to now when you're getting out of high school, are you making a conscious decision about wanting to be and work in the fashion space? And what drew you there?
In high school, in high school, when I went into high school initially, I was a very, so first the deputy teacher in our school hated anyone from Nairobi.
Anyone from Nairobi?
Anyone from Nairobi.
What school is this?
Sauti Sol.
Yeah.
The initial Form 1s are just like, I don't like anyone from Nairobi.
Yeah.
So that was just like, so his assumption was anyone from Nairobi is cheeky and naughty. I wasn't. I was just like a
regular color within the landscape. Yeah.
But I'm not naughty. Yeah. So I think initially I had to like just sit calm and sort of get used to adjust to the space. I remember my uncle was like, "Do you want us to change schools for you?" I was like, "No, I think I should be fine." Yeah, I think I should be fine. So we sort of settled in. Then I started sort of finding my way in drama, music, CU. I tried playing hockey. I played hockey for a term.
Okay.
And then I was just like, I went for a tournament in Maseno. And then I saw someone being hit by
the hockey stick.
And that was the end. I just said, I'm never gonna. I think
where did they get hit?
Their teeth fell out. Cheers, amazing.
Yeah.
Never again.
It's fine. Yeah.
Then I focused on drama and music till I left.
Okay.
Till I left high school, yeah. And I did that to the national level.
Okay.
And
at this point in time, you're participating in the drama and the music, like you're in the plays. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And at this point in time, what are you thinking you want to be? What career choices do you have in mind?
Know. I was just leaving high school.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like people sit and say they want to be a lawyer, a doctor. Mine sort of shifted like across the whole time. There's a time I wanted to be a lawyer. There's a time I wanted to be. The one thing I never wanted to be to date is a doctor or work anywhere close to a hospital. Yeah. There's a time I wanted to be an engineer, then quickly learned I cannot be an engineer because I sucked at physics. There's a time I never wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a designer at some point. Then that shifted.
A fashion designer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I wanted to be. I said lawyer. I said designer.
Yeah. You said engineer was.
I think I wanted to be a banker.
Okay.
At some point.
Did anything have any correlation to money? Or was it just passion and interest?
Passion and interest, and that shifted. Then at some point, I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be a script writer. Then realized I hate writing for too long. So it shifted until the day we had to do selection for uni, and we had to pick courses. And I remember looking at economics and finance, like, oh, that sounds interesting. Being an economist would be fun, I guess. And then someone sort of, I think in the process I was feeling, someone was like, you could never be. I was like, you think?
Yeah.
So yes, I thought it was interesting, but also it was a dare.
Yeah.
By someone who thought I couldn't be an economist. So
that's what
I took in campus. I studied financial economics.
Interesting. I had no idea. So you go. So where did you study? University of Nairobi?
KU.
KU.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go KU. You're now doing economics and
before
finance.
Before KU, we moved to Kaloleni.
Okay.
In on Jogorod, and then a lot of, I think, post high school was very interesting for me. It sort of shifted a lot. So I sort of started thrifting.
Okay.
Stuff, and then in the course of that, my mom, where the tailoring shop that my mom had used to be, we still had the store.
Okay.
But then it was being used by another relative who had accumulated arrears
In rent.
Uh-huh. I think in 2011, 2010, 200,000 was a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, like now we are used to throwing figures, but in 2011, 200,000, you couldn't fathom
how this person,
how you owed city council 200,000. That's a lot of money in arrears. So in the process, I figured out, I found a tenant who would pay rent for a year. And then we sort of started clearing the
arrears,
the backlog, and then we'd figure out how to pay this the current rents.
Yeah. So, and when you started thrifting, so why did you start thrifting to pay this back?
No, thrifting just I just sat home. I was like, I can't wait for these results for 3 months. Just doing that thing.
So you'd go get clothes.
I'd thrift. Those days, M-Pesa shops were a big deal. I feel like now M-Pesa shops are. But those days, M-Pesa shops used to look like banking halls. And I'd go sell to M-Pesa. The chicks who used to work at M-Pesa stores. I'd sell them shoes, I'd sell them dresses, and salons in town.
Okay.
So I was basically like a hawker.
Basically. Did you have a specific margin that you would work with for each item? So would you be like, I'm going to work with a 30-40% margin?
100 to 200%.
100 to 200%
profit.
Okay. How much would you get? Would you averagely spend? I guess when you go for a haul.
Puppies would be 2 sock.
No, like for the whole haul. So like if you're going and buying like a whole.
Sometimes
like
2 Gs was enough.
You spend 2 Gs. Yeah. And from 2 Gs, you're then making...
You're making like 4 Gs.
Of profit.
Of profit or more.
Okay.
Because sometimes it used to be like 200-300% profit sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
Depending on the piece.
Right. And you'd be doing this on a daily?
On a daily, 2 times, 3 times a week.
Okay.
I started having clients, like people who wanted shoes, people who wanted this. Because like, just find something nice. Let me know. Then in the course of that, I got a job as a waiter.
Okay.
Yes, I got a job as a waiter. I used to. There's a club in Jogord that used to be called Woodpark. It was a bit fancy, but it was in Jogord. My salary per month was 8,000 bob.
How many hours were you working?
If I'd get in at, it depends. I know weekend is when
this is chaos.
Yeah. But if you get in the morning, you're out at 3. If you get in at 3, you're out. You're out at 9, 10, depending.
And you're working, what, 6 days a week?
6 days. 6 days a week, yeah. You had one off.
Yeah, 1 day off.
Yeah.
8,000 bob.
8,000 bob. So when I was taking the afternoon shifts, in the morning I'd just wake up, thrift, see my clients, then come into work later.
Again, were you working as a waiter or taking up these gigs to make money, or was it to kill the boredom and not waiting for the results?
And then it became a money thing because I decided to move out of home. And I moved to a house. Yeah. It was 3,500 per month.
So now you needed to pay, rent and
oil.
stuff.
Fortunately, the house, that included water, that included electricity, because then you had to buy water for the house.
What's the best experience you had as a waiter?
Best experience?
Yeah.
The tips.
Yeah.
It makes so much. The tips per month would be twice my salary. Yeah. The tips were good.
Worst experience?
Worst experience?
Did you ever drop a plate of food or...
No, not really. I think I just dealt with drunkards. Yeah. I think that was just... Yeah, I think that was... No one escaped with my bill.
Yeah.
I was keen enough.
Yeah. But that used to happen.
People used to lose money.
And if that happens, you pay for the meal.
Yeah. You pay for the drinks or whatever.
Or the drinks or whatever they have taken. Yeah. Wow, okay, that's rough.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're doing all of this in between before you go to uni.
Before I go to uni.
Yeah. And so now, when you get to uni, are you still keeping up with your...
So when I get to uni,
your
initially...
Yeah.
So I didn't make it to the job and have help and everything.
Right.
So initially, when was getting into uni, the plan was to get support from family.
The folks, yeah, that your uncles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my uncle said, "This is how much I can do. Can do more." Then there's another person who bailed entirely, and then my aunt, in the process, as I started, she used to live in the States, also got into uni at the same time. So it became a bit of a challenge. So now I needed to actually
What
work.
percentage of fees was your uncle able to cover?
I think 50%.
50%. Okay.
And then I just cover the 50%.
Yeah.
And then
Living expenses.
So it was a bit. I think I find my campus life must have been the. I consider I was the loneliest at that time because I couldn't have fun when other people were having fun. I actually needed to go figure out
how I'm
gonna go through campus for a bit. In the process, I got help, so it sort of reduced strain for one semester per year. So you had to work for one semester.
Yeah.
So I used to occasionally take a casual at the restaurant, the bar, for the weekends.
Okay.
Then on the weekdays, I used to wake up, thrift, go meet the clients. Also, one day of the week was for that. Then the rest of the time would be in school, and maybe go back to now to collect payments and stuff like that.
So ideally, you're working about 3 days a week.
Yes.
And how much? How? I mean, if I'm trying to remember, fees a semester would be about 100,000 there. About
No, it was like 67.
67,000. So your uncle's covering half. So you need to raise
about
30 something.
Yes.
And then now your living expenses.
Yes.
So how long would it take you to be able to raise cash for?
There's a day I think I thought I was gonna die because it was deadline day
for fees.
and I didn't have like 20 Gs. So I called my uncle, like, I'm gonna call off the semester. He was like, actually no, I have some money that I've received. Go to the bank. He was in the States. Go to the bank, tell them, and they lock you inside the bank, so that you stay there. Because the thing, you had to deposit the money on that day.
Yeah.
If not, then you have to call off the semester.
Yeah.
So I was locked in the bank, Aga Khan Cooperative.
As you're waiting now for...
Yeah, and they waited. I don't remember the tellers, but they were very gracious. They waited. So they had to wait. We received the money on Western Union, from Western Union, then deposit it.
Okay. Right. That's like chaining yourself.
He was like, just go and wait in the bank.
Yeah.
So I told them, I explained to the teller. She was like, that's fine.
Okay. Did it spur at this point in time now? Because it sounds like you're working a minimum of 2 different jobs. You're trying to raise money. You're getting support. You're moved out. You're now living in this place as well. Are you having any thoughts around, I need to make money?
Always, all the time.
Yeah.
Everything was like, how can I make money? How can I do this? How can I improve? What can I do?
Yeah.
That was the thought the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you try and explore anything else in your 4 years?
I try explore. Like, I still do what I used to do. I try. The time we went to Sakata to be there as like the audience. The money was crap.
How much would they pay you to sit in the audience?
Just like for a whole day, it was like 5 socks.
So you're a creative version of the political crowds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I guess the politicians pay guys to come and stand and whatever.
No, but that
you
one
now,
we used to, that one they needed audience.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You now are in the creative space and in an audience. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like
you need it.
I'm like, I can't come here again. Like, if I could make 5 sock for less stress.
Right.
Then in the process, like, I still had interest in fashion because I'm selling clothes. So I used to read magazines a lot, even when I'd go to like meet people in the salons to take the hairdressers' clothes and meet like their clients. I would see a lot of like magazines like, oh, styling, like I can put stuff together like this. I sort of had helped my cousin put stuff together for her shoot. She used to be a model. So I'd put stuff together for her, dress her for a shoot. So in the process, I decided one day, like, maybe I could be a stylist, you know? So I yeah, we tried putting what's it called? I sort of tried. I followed like on Facebook. Those days, Facebook was their place. So I wrote to Sunny Dolat, and Sunny Dolat one day. So I wrote to Sunny Dolat, then went to work for Stratit Africa to just gain experience and understand. So Stratit.
There's a generation who don't know what
Stratit.
What Stratit
is. There's a whole. So there used to be a modeling
was for the modeling
hype
agency.
Around Stratit was insane.
And Moses and what is her name?
Malaika and all those guys. Oh, before that,
walk like with halos on their heads. Do you remember? It was like a cult.
It was like a movement. Like if you're not a model in Stratit, you are not.
Like you're nowhere.
You're nowhere.
They were cool. They were
cool.
Everything.
They were USIU people. They were tall. They were beautiful. They dressed in trendy stuff. Stratit was the place.
Yeah.
I was a blogger.
Yeah.
Briefly. I tried blogging. I tried blogging fashion. I think the website's still somewhere there.
Yeah.
But I tried blogging fashion for a bit.
Yeah.
I never got a paying gig because bloggers were not being paid then.
Yeah.
I think the topmost blogger then was Nancy Moy. I think Nancy was the person making money, and maybe this is S a bit later. But yes, I tried blogging for a bit, and I was like,
it's not yours.
This is taking pictures of myself. And posting and putting together outfits.
Is that you didn't enjoy you being the subject matter?
I think so. I just didn't enjoy me being and I still to date don't enjoy being a subject matter.
Yeah.
Even this interview is very.
Yes. Okay. So at Stratit,
So I work at Stratit.
Yeah.
I think that has to be the most challenging thing I've ever done for myself. So Stratit just told Moses was like, we don't have budget to pay you. If you still want to do it, it's fine.
Yeah,
but we don't have jobs. So those days, I think we stayed in Huruma or somewhere. So I used to get a job to town, then walk to Upper Hill for the shoots. The shoots were in Upper Hill.
Yeah.
The photographer was called Thompson Kube. Thompson. We later got to work. I got to work with a lot more, just as now a proper established stylist.
Right.
So I used to get to town at 7 because they shoot at 6:30. So I used to leave home early to pay less fare.
Yeah.
Before
you get to peak.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I used to leave home. So I used to be in town by 6:30, and then walk to Upper Hill so that I'm in studio by 7. Thompson used to find me at the door of his studio for the period we used to do the shoots. So like for 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
So it used to be on Saturday and Sunday.
And so, and at this time, you're styling the models, or you're starting to style the models.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Then previously I'd written to Sunny.
Yes, Sunny Dolat.
Dolat, and asked him, like I want to learn, because I was like, I know I could possibly make money from whatever this styling thing is, but I want to learn how to do it professionally.
Okay.
Just to do it well, so that I'm not there asking for money and I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I wrote to Sunny, and then as I wrote to Sunny, I had to go for attachments. So I was working at Kenya Pipeline.
Doing your uni attachment?
Yeah, product. I was working in product accounts.
Okay.
So one day, Sunny sends me a message like, yo, I have this shoot coming up. I saw you reached out. I remember you reached out, and I was like, I have this shoot coming up. Are you able to come help? I was like, of course I'm able to come help.
At this point in time, you have no relationship between.
No, we don't know each other.
Now, this is your first interaction.
We know that, when I sent him the messages,
that was,
I flattered him. I told him about the projects I'd seen he had worked on and how I loved them and I adored them. And if ever he needs help,
I can let you
even
know.
without pay, I will come.
Yeah.
Kenya Pipeline was paying me an allowance at least, so I was making a bit of chums.
Okay.
There. As just
how much was the allowance?
I think it was
internship allowances.
10K.
Okay.
For transport.
So at this point in time, you're still working you're still doing your 3
No, I quit
jobs.
waiting.
Or you quit the waiting. So you're just doing the thrifting.
I do thrifting.
So
when I left work or before work, I'd go for thrifting.
Okay.
Then I would come to the office.
Okay. So those are the two sources of revenue that you have
Yes.
at this point. All right.
So then Sunny was like, hey, can you come? I was like, of course I can come. So I go and tell my supervisor, I'm like, yo, I need to go and do some stuff in school. I'll come back on Monday.
Yeah.
It's on Friday.
Yeah.
I went for the first gig. It was a Safaricom shoot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Safaricom shoot. I was a second assistant.
Mm-hmm.
I think Emery was the first assistant. Brian Emery had a bit of experience then. I think we were starting at the same time, but he was a bit experienced than I was, or they had interacted, something of sorts. Yeah, so I did that, and as I was on that set, I met Ajuma, who was doing city model. So I was like, hi Ajuma, with your agency, I know you need to take like portraits and things for that you're going to show for casting and all that. Would you want me to come in on board as your stylist for those pictures? It's like, that doesn't sound bad. I mean, it's interesting for model photos, like headshots and stuff that they would use to send to clients for ads.
Yeah.
So I filtered that to Ajuma and left it at that. That job got paid 25K.
The Safaricom job.
Yeah, the Safaricom job.
By Sunny Dollar.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think I kept on looking at my bank. I was like, so this is not school fees.
Yeah.
This is your money that you've been given as a chunk at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that.
And what was your job then on that day? Like, what did being a second assistant on a set as a stylist?
Steaming clothes, loading the car, offloading the car, folding, laundry, and just doing set checks, running when you're being sent to go grab something. I kept on being sent to go buy stuff, and I'd send pictures and collect receipts and hand them over to Sunny for recons.
And you do that for 3 days?
Yeah.
How many outfits for a shoot like that? How many different outfits would you be typically?
I know it was a
working
lot,
with?
but I kept on being sent to go get stuff.
To get more stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get your first paid amount as a stylist at 25 Gs. Does that make you feel like, okay, now we're in this now?
Actually, that my first paying. My first paying styling job, actually, I got paid 1K, and it was to dress a corpse.
A corpse?
Yes, for a funeral.
A corpse?
Yes.
Okay.
Someone had died, and their siblings wanted me to help them go buy. So a friend of mine, another lady, used to do stuff. Oh, I skipped the part where I used to sell cushions. I used to sell cushions for interior.
Okay.
There's a point where I used to sell in the course of campus. I used to before campus. As I was still trying to like occupy my time.
Yeah.
We used to make cushions and sell them to interior design stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very entrepreneurial in this looking good space, so to speak.
Before I looked good, I used to hustle.
Okay.
Yeah, so that first
technically was your
gig,
first styling gig.
I was paid 1,000 bob.
Yeah.
We went to Ukwala supermarket on Kenyatta, not Moi Avenue, Tomboya Street. There's a behind Ambassador Hotel. There was Ukwala supermarket. It was a navy blue suit I bought with a pink tie, a white shirt, and pink pocket square. Yeah.
And so you took it to them. They were like,
I just
thanks.
give them, and with socks.
Yeah.
Valisha socks. And they were so happy, and they cried, and they asked me if I could come for the funeral service, and I said no.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
But I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
That was.
And they give you your 1K.
My 1K.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the first.
That was technically the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we come back to the Sunny Dollar one, so what's the next pivotal thing that happens? I feel like it has something to do with Ajuma probably.
So yes and no.
Yeah.
So then Sunny books me for another shoot.
Okay, this is a good assistant. This was a good assistant. This guy.
It's like,
He's running
I guess
fast.
he can do errands, and he doesn't really have bad taste. Like he can pick out good stuff.
Yeah.
So next was another shoot, and then in the process, Ajuma was like, actually, next week I want us to do. We don't have a lot of budget. We can pay you 10K per shoot. I said, okay, that's fine. So I gathered a bit of my accessories and stuff that I had. That had some of the stuff had remained from thrifting, some of my own clothes, like my shirts, and put them, and some of the women's clothes that I had not sold, I carried them and went on set. The shoots used to be, so that second signage shoot was I made about
15K.
15K because I was being paid 5K a day. They made 15, 20K.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the time I learned that there's something called tax, 5% withholding.
Yeah.
When you make over 25K. Yeah. 21K. 21?
24 now.
24 now.
Make about 24, they take 5%. Yeah.
5%.
Yeah.
What is this called?
So you're now at a Juma.
So I'm at a
Juma's shoot. Yeah.
And that was the toughest job I had. I didn't, now looking back, I think that was such a tough job because I used to style between 10 to 40 people a day.
10 to 40 people a day.
Yeah.
And for each of them, are you trying to achieve a unique?
Just based on what they come with.
Okay.
So I didn't have a steamer. I iron the clothes. I style them. I also do checks on set.
At that time, did you know what you were doing?
They needed to look good
Yeah.
for the pictures.
Yeah.
They needed to look good for the pictures. So the goal was for them to look nice. It wasn't editorial. It was just like making normal people look nice.
Yeah.
For their casting, so that when they submitted the pictures to clients, they would make the shortlist.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, right now, with the knowledge that you have and the years of experience that you have, if I was to ask you to describe to me in layman terms, like what styling actually is, like what is the job and what does the job entail?
What does styling entail?
Yeah.
Styling is dressing someone for whatever they want to look and for the personality they want to represent at that moment. Yeah.
So
it is storytelling or curating a personality using clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing it professionally, what are the different settings within which you work in styling? So I've had you talk about shoots.
So I
sets.
do commercials, the TV commercials. That is print for billboards and stuff like that. There's celebrity styling where I do handle celebrities for music videos and all that. There's styling for TV where I handle another TV anchors and all that. There's personal styling where I do
like it's just I just come to you and I'm like I want
but then mine is a bit now on higher because I handle CEOs, managers and other people just like in business circles.
Okay.
Yeah.
But paid for personally, not by the entities that they
personally.
But
it's a consultancy that they want to raise their profile.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the four different whatevers that you work.
And then there's just like random other things where you are consulting.
Like this other one that went sideways or whatever.
Yeah, you just call it for consulting purposes. Yeah.
Okay. And in these four different categories, right? So like the personal styling, what's the job there? Like when these CEOs come to you,
I need to dress them for their personality. Yeah. It doesn't need to feel styled, and also it doesn't need to feel outrageous. So I come, meet them, consult, get what their style is, and then recommend things, and then shop for those things that I've recommended, or get them made, or things like those ones.
So you'll come, have a meeting, have a discussion. I hear about me. You then come back to me with like a mood board of some sort. Then I say, I like this. I like this.
Maybe not this. Yeah. And then also I'll push you to maybe try new
things. Right.
Then we look through your closet. We toss some things. We buy new things.
Okay.
And then now my job now moving forward is to update the what we have, like get new pieces. Always have my eyes out for new things that you might need.
Okay. My question is, are there a lot of people in that category? Is that a growing market size for you right now?
Yeah. It's actually a thing that in the next maybe 2 years is what I'll be making money mostly
Most
from.
money from?
Yeah.
Right now, what percentage of your revenues does it contribute to?
I think 30.
About 30%.
30, 40.
And how much would you ideally be charging someone for that kind of service?
Between 50 to 100K.
50 to 100K
per session.
Per session. And how long would be how long are the...
It
Like, how do you
depends
quantify a session? Is it...
So the thing about styling is so difficult to quantify because it's not an all one size fits all. Yeah, that's why I said there's a range depending on...
Or depending on the amount of work you may need to do or whatever the case is. Okay. That's really interesting. Anyway, that's category 1. Category 2, I guess, is the commercials.
The commercials, there's a day rate, there's a budget for wardrobe.
Right.
And you do and reconcile, give the production company their recons, get paid.
That's it.
That's it.
What was the other category?
The artists,
artists music
and
videos and whatever. Is that
now that's about
commercials?
50 or up. Would I say 50%?
Yeah.
That's where I make most of
your money.
Yeah.
Like with the music videos and
is it music videos anymore? I feel like there's a lot other things that artists do. There's performances, there's appearances, there is interviews, there is so much that happens in... That's another 30-40%
of your revenues right now.
Yeah.
And that one would be like, hey, I'm going to MTV this weekend. Can you get something?
Put some stuff together for me.
And
like that. I have like, that's why the phone is ringing so much. It's like that. Yeah, there's always some people have places to go.
Yeah.
Shows to attend.
And how much typically are you charging someone? Do you have someone? Are there some clients that you have on retainer?
There are some on retainer who pay about 100 Gs, 50, depending on your needs.
Yeah.
Per month.
Okay.
There are people who pay
outfit
per job to job basis. I mean, you still work with them as a stylist, but they pay job to job.
And how much is a job? 25K, 20K?
Somewhere there.
Around there. Okay. And the final one is now the regular TV category given is like regular TV work that people have.
That's all encompassed in that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So your revenue is then split about 20%, with the 20% being the
consulting.
Yeah, the consulting and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, interesting. I guess that's just some interesting information to gather, and I'm just like, okay, like people are paying for personal.
People are
styling.
I mean, compared to when I started 10 years ago, I've done this for 10 years now.
Yeah.
People are very aware. Like, even when you look at someone being trolled, they're like, does this person not have a stylist?
Yeah.
Or now, as Kenyans put it, ana designer wake.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a thing. It's like when you are a certain level, when you're in entertainment, when you reach a certain level, people expect you to have help.
Yeah. To look
the
a certain way. Yeah. And so are you like primarily when you're now trying to get clothes, what have you found, or trying to style someone, what have you found to be the most important thing? Is it more personality? Is it more body type?
I think it's more connecting with the person and understanding their personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And making sure they are comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I guess I'm wondering, because you know how you'll see sometimes, like you'll see a picture of a model or someone and you'll be like, oh, that looks good and that looks nice, that looks like a good outfit. But then for you, like you'll go and try it on and you're like, yeah, it does not look the same
because
as
again
on this guy.
It's something that works with their personality. Speak to them based on their personality, their taste and preferences of the person.
Do you reckon it's something that can be taught? It's a skill that can be taught?
It can be taught. It can be taught basic, but it's also something you have to have an eye for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, then
I mean, you can teach, you can train an eye.
Yeah.
But it's not something that will come. They can do nice basic styling.
Yeah.
With that, when you train an eye.
Yeah.
But to be able to step out.
Yeah.
It varies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, that was a good, like, I guess, just breakdown of what that looks like there. But if you go back now to, I guess now you're you are doing these shoots for 10 to 40, you know, 40 models a day, right? For those shoots and styling them and moving on from there. What's the next monumental thing money-wise that happens for you in your styling
Coke
space?
Studio.
Coke Studio. How soon does that come?
Like a year after.
A year after. So for that
2014.
year,
It was so good I stopped thrifting.
but for that
Think
year,
about
would
it.
you say
I moved to
Yeah.
live in campus.
Yeah.
The hostel there is 20K per sem.
Yeah. And SM is 3
months.
3 months, yeah.
3.5 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
20K.
Yeah.
Whole sem.
Okay.
You work every weekend.
Yeah.
So in a month you make 40 to 50 Gs.
Yeah. So you are doing okay.
I'm fine.
What were you doing with your money at that point now?
This one.
Yeah.
I used to spend it. I used to live good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live good in campus.
Yeah.
I'm not even good.
This was like your final year, final.
It was like that was like second, third year. Third
Yeah.
year there.
Yeah.
Third year.
So now you're paying your half of the fees comfortably.
I'm easy. I'm
Like you're
good.
easy. You're good now.
Then the process, because now I'm working and you're like, why are you coming home late? I moved out of home again.
Yeah.
Because I moved back home, then now went to live on campus. Then during the breaks,
Yeah.
you're home.
Yeah.
Then now when you're working and guys are like, what do you mean you want to come home at midnight? I'm like,
I'm working.
I'm working. Like, till midnight.
Yeah. What work is this?
And you're doing what is this even fashion thing that you're doing
Yeah.
that you don't understand?
Yeah.
And you're not a designer.
Okay.
I moved out of home.
Yeah.
My first rent, I think, was 6K.
And do you then again at this point, are you then making a very conscious decision to be like, yeah, we're going down this stylist path?
I was like, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
So I do Coke Studio. My pay per month I was like assistant stylist for the Coke Studio band.
Okay.
So I was under someone's contract.
Yeah.
So it brought me in to help. So Diana Porty sort of brought me in to do, to do that.
Yeah.
Under her agency. So 30K from 30, is it 30 or 40K? I think 30, 40K there about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now, and this is again additional income to.
No, that one now I stopped doing.
Oh, you said now.
See, I mean,
you are fine.
Yeah. Anyway, some dodge stuff happened there that I just don't want to get into.
Okay.
But then I was basically out of a job.
Yeah.
For a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, occasionally I'll get a commercial here.
Yeah.
As an assistant. During the same period of time, I interned for Couture Africa when it was like doing well properly, and Namnyak was the stylist. So I was an intern for Namnyak. Just again, it was in the process of just sort of improving and learning, just get more knowledge, get new ideas or new ways of just learning how to be a good stylist.
Yeah.
So I did Coke Studio. In the process, I got my first gig as a lead stylist for a commercial. I didn't know what I was doing. Even when the producer is like, okay, I'm going to help you, guide you. I mean, we see you have the eye, you're putting everything together, right? Yeah. But you need help. Yeah. Yeah. So the producer sort of guided me. I started doing commercials.
And how much then would is a lead stylist on a commercial asking
commercial?
For? Yeah.
20 to 30K a day.
20-30K a day.
Yeah.
And this would be how many days? 3 days?
We do 3 days, 4 days.
Okay.
So what you'd make in
a month, you're making in 3 days now.
3 days. Not even 3 days.
2
just in a day or 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
still you're good.
I'm good.
At this point in time, still, are you making any conscious decisions about your money, or it?
I remember there's a Safaricom gig I did, and the pay at the end of it was like 2 sock, and I could not withdraw money from my account. I just kept on staring at I was like, it was for a bit. I think I bought a fridge. Yeah, I went and bought a fridge. I never had a fridge. So I bought a fridge, and it was like I think I stayed home and stared at the fridge.
And you're just like, wow,
I have made this money.
Okay.
Yeah.
What year does your does the trajectory sort of shift in terms of?
I think on my third year as a stylist in 2016.
And by that time, are you done?
I question
Are you done
commercials.
with uni? Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm on my last, I think the last year.
Last year.
Yeah. Then so it was very funny how it worked out. So I was on a commercial set with was it commercial? No, Sauti Sol performing somewhere, and Annabelle was their stylist. So I think I got contracted to go dress the BGVs for that event. And I meet Annabelle and Sauti Sol are going to have the album launch for Live and Die in Africa. So I'm like, hey, Annabelle, could you hook me up, Annabelle Onyango? Could you hook me up with a ticket for the show? She's like, no, I can't, because we're trying to sell tickets to make money.
Yes.
And like pay for this show because we still don't have enough sponsors.
Yeah.
And I was like, I respect the hustle, man.
Yeah.
It's fine, no problem. She said, however, I need a volunteer to help me backstage. I was like, what better way to watch the show than watch it with backstage, hanging out with Sauti Sol backstage?
Yeah.
I'd met them at Cook Studio, but then the experience was...
Yeah.
Then it was like, okay. I was like, sure. So I called her when I was doing there's a commercial shoot I was helping Kaveke with. I think it was for Crown or something. Yeah, so we are on set. I decided to call her and I was like, hi, Annabelle, is the offer still out for help? How? Like, sure, cool. Send me your name, send me your email address. We'll get you everything, get you sorted.
Yeah.
So you'll help me. I don't have many volunteers, but since you've volunteered to help, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I work with the guys for that show and with Annabelle, where I was handling them backstage.
Yeah.
I think at some point I even carried Savara to take him on stage because he was wearing white Timberlands. And it was just like,
he's going to touch the ground. Yeah.
Touch the ground.
Yeah.
It was dope. I finished. I was happy. I was like, I volunteered. This was a fun experience because I wanted to come for the show.
Yeah.
And I went back to campus,
just
minding my business. And then after like 3 days, Annabelle calls like, oh, the guys were so happy with you. They're like, we can't pay, but they want to give you a token of appreciation. So I was like, is 10K fine? After that day I was broke. I was like, yes, of course it's fine.
Yeah.
Do you want to come get it or send it on M-Pesa? I was like, sir, send it on M-Pesa. They sent. The money was sent. I was like, cool. Like, it's easy. I was doing my last semester. I was like, yeah. So in the process, one day I get a call again from Annabelle. It's like, so the guys were wondering if you want to go with them on tour. I was like, oh, okay. No, I was shocked. I was like, what? Me? Tour? Them? I panicked.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do that styling. I can't style them. Like, they are so cool. I don't think I'm in that level. So then Annabelle was like, no, don't worry. Like, we'll use the stuff we used for the album launch, for the tour. Yeah. It was like, cool. So I went in the first meeting about just arranging the tour. Bien goes like, I can't wear those clothes. They've been photographed and they're all over the press.
I can't repeat those clothes.
So I had to do a mood board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had to go and find other stuff for him.
I had to create a mood board and get stuff done. Yeah. And that is how I started working with Sauti Sol.
And so at this point, you were their lead.
I was just styling the tour. Yeah. Again, all of these things happened like on fluke. Yeah. Like it was like, yeah. Hey. So we, I was terrible. I didn't save money when we were doing the tour. Yeah.
But this time they paid you. They paid you for the tour.
They were going to pay me.
Yeah.
They were going to. The story gets better. Yeah. So I'm invited on tour. Yeah. We go. It's amazing. After every show, there was an after party. At the after party at 4 a.m. we were told, I think for the next location we need new clothes. So you have to do another budget, send it in, have it approved. By the time you get to Nairobi on Sunday night, you have done a mood board and center budget so that it's approved. And on Monday morning,
you're going to
start
get the clothes.
production.
Yeah.
To be ready for you to leave on Friday.
Yeah.
I did the job. I finished the tour. Unfortunately, the tour made a loss.
Yeah.
So the guys were kind of bankrupt.
Yeah.
So they were not able to pay us.
Yeah.
Initially, and I had not saved any money, so I became homeless for a month.
By homeless, what do you mean? Where
I had to move out of my house. I couldn't pay rent.
So where were you? Where were you?
I stayed with my cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the process, Coke Studio called again
for another
season.
Yeah.
Now not under another person's contract.
Like as a lead.
As an assistant to the whole production, a second or first assistant. The money was good.
Yeah.
The money was good, and what happened? The money was good, and I moved. I moved out of my campus area and moved to sides of Ngong Road.
As you're talking about, I guess your styling career sort of moving up. If you were to try and look back and chart for me, how much money you'd say as a starting out stylist you are making, and as I don't know how you qualify, whether it's years of experience, whether it's just getting better at the craft, but if you were to try and sort of categorize the different categories, the different kinds of stylists as you're, like going up there, how much would you say people should be expecting to make, or how much were you making at the different stages of your styling career?
I can make that kind of money now.
You don't think people can make that kind of money now?
I don't know if I make that kind of money now anymore.
Really?
Yeah, there was money then.
Like this 2016,
it was so
2017 era, there was money.
There was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think the pandemic sort of plunged us.
Really?
Yeah.
So
the budgets have been cut a lot more.
So now. In terms of like commercials and all those things,
there's less budget than it was before.
Anyway, let's see if we can get those categories, so to speak. So if you're starting out, how much would you say would be making per month?
I got a job.
Give us
so in the process,
best guesstimate.
I think a sock a month.
Yeah.
Then at some point, a sock, 2 sock on a nice month, I'd make like 250.
Yeah. That's with what? Maybe what? 2-3 years experience, or
yeah. I mean now it's a bit better.
Yeah.
I could make that in a week sometimes.
Yeah.
Depending on if things are very busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I used to. So I got Coke Studio. Then I got a job that I used to do 2 times a week for Pambazuka National Lottery Show. It was a show on TV. Then I got Sports Central that used to do once a week. It's like for a couple of hours. So I had good revenue.
Yeah,
I would say all of those were on retainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about then? I guess what would you say then? Established stylist would be making in Nairobi market pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah. What would an established stylist be able to make per month?
So I could give like a range.
Yeah, a range.
250, 200 to maybe 350.
Yeah,
easily. Those then I mean still you can.
Yeah.
But it's just not the same. Like the kind of jobs we used to do them. Because that time I think in the process of just shifting stuff, I set up a company. So my company used to make a lot more money then, because we used to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
But then also we had salaries to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the company used to make like 5 sock a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy. Without like
strain.
too much strain.
5 sock.
Yeah.
On a bad month, make like 300K.
Okay.
300, 200.
Yeah.
But we used to make money. The company used to make
Yeah.
a lot of money because we used to basically, I had a unit that no one had in styling. I had a styling outfit, brand Babu styling. It had like 4. It was me and another 3-4 people. 2, 3 were almost like permanent.
Yeah.
and then one person was outsourced.
Yeah.
So at a time, we'd do, even in a day, we'd do 4 to 6 gigs sometimes.
Okay.
Like we used to, the company used to make money. We used to do commercials. We have like 2 production companies that we used to service as clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about post-COVID.
We tried figuring out the company. At
Yeah.
some point, we had to just sort of put everything on pause for a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And sort of just work individually. And then like even my team sort of branched out to other things that are not fashion related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's it like now to trying to make money as a stylist? What's the
You need to focus on individual clients.
Yeah.
That's where there's money.
Yeah.
Now.
Whereas before there was the commercials,
People don't do commercials, people now do digital content.
Yeah.
And then brands are investing in influencers now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so they've eaten your money as well.
Yes.
Okay. So now the biggest revenue source is now and like so I guess like you're predicting or saying in the next 2 years, the individual thought leader clients would be the majority source of your revenue.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think the explosion in this space as well was a contributing factor? Because I guess initially, like, yeah, I knew you as the one of very, I knew you, I knew of Annabelle, but knew very few stylists essentially. But now they're everywhere.
I'm sure if you fall in town, you'll hit a stylist at this point.
Yeah.
There are very many stylists now. And it's, again, I think it's great for the market. It's great competition. It's healthy. I think there's enough for everyone.
Yeah.
I think so. I think there's enough. Even if you focus as a celebrity stylist, there's enough.
Yeah.
There's enough to be made to do everything.
Okay. So have you ever made very conscious decisions about your money and investing and saving and planning?
I did when I was wanted to buy a car.
Uh-huh.
I did. I've done some risky investments. I think I took out a policy at some point. I did a risky investment. I put money with a Shylock. Invested money.
You knew that they were a Shylock?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was like, yo, see, you do business with money.
Yeah.
Have this money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that has to be the riskiest. The return was good.
Oh, the return was good?
Quite good.
What's the percentage of investing in a Shylock?
It's like 10%.
Yeah. In what period?
10, I don't know. Like 6% per month compounded.
Okay.
You're not stressing.
Yeah.
It's just money.
Yeah.
And then you roll over the money for a year.
Yeah. Where do you even find a Shylock to invest in?
Listen, I don't advise anyone to go to a Shylock. I just happen to know one.
Yeah, and you took the plunge. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what else have you done?
What else? I think I saved. I'm now saving up because now I'm getting older.
Yeah.
I'm focusing now on saving up for land.
Okay.
I want to get land. I'm trying to put money now away in various things, money markets and all those things.
Yeah.
I'm consciously now looking at places to put money away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you survive on in a month? Like if you were to look at your expenses and everything that you require to survive
comfortably,
on a month.
150K.
Yeah.
Like I'm not extravagant. I don't do I'm not over the top. 150 to 100K.
Yeah.
I'm not extravagant. I live it's fueling my car, going to work, my rent, my meals. I'm not, unless like I have an event. That's why I can sometimes, it's crazy because people think because I'm a bit, I like spending money on holidays. I do. It's a thing. I like doing. I like traveling. So I save my money for going
on holidays.
Places. Yeah.
Okay. As we're sort of winding up, what's the best month financially you've ever had?
Always November, December.
Yeah. How much does it quantify? Give me a range of how much. Give me a range of where it can get to.
It can get to 500,000.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can.
Take home on your profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because it's like you gig.
Yeah.
You gig and gig properly.
Yeah.
Like you gig till the 31st of December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there could have been an easier path? I mean, given the degree that you have, what you studied, do you think there could have been an easier path to be able to make the money that you make on a monthly basis, so the money you make to survive? Do you think if you'd have gone down another path, that'd been easier for you?
I don't know. It's funny because yesterday I was with my friends and all of them are creatives. Like one of them studied architecture, now is an artist. Another one studied law, is a photographer, influencer. The other one studied journalism. He's not an artist, and we're just like wondering, like what would it look like if we, if
We had gone into other careers.
so
Yeah.
like, maybe make a lot more money.
Yeah.
I probably would. But as a creative in Kenya, to be able to live where I live and to be able to do the things I do, I have to be the best in that space.
Yeah.
But you see, this other person just has to do what they do.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the best.
Yeah.
They'll still make the money.
Yeah.
They make.
So that's your trophy. That's like what you.
I just
Yeah.
enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me money and I'm fine. I think I've gotten to a level where I'm content.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I really wanted to chase money, I wouldn't do what I do. Ever. You just sometimes look at it and
Yeah. And it's just a fact.
it's just the truth.
Yeah.
I think people think it's a cash grab. It's not.
It's
a
hard
lot
work.
of work.
And
It's really hard work.
Yeah.
And emotionally tasking sometimes.
Yeah. Because I mean, I was looking at before you came. I was looking at even like the average stylist salaries in UK and in the States. They weren't staggering. I think I don't want to get figures wrong, but I think I saw something like $30,000 in the States per year. The UK, I think, was sort of around the same
It's
range
not.
as well. So
I think people think
understand what you're saying.
creatives. I mean, stylists get access to a lot of nice stuff.
Yeah.
And like a lot of nice clothes.
Yeah.
And not go to nice places because you're working with an artist and artists have access to this and they need to have these things.
Yeah.
But the money itself is not.
It can't be their calling.
It can't be the call.
Yeah.
You can't come to be a rich stylist. You'll be a comfortable one.
Yeah.
You will maintain a nice
And a good life. Yeah.
a good life. But
Yeah.
it won't be like, I'm going to be rich and no.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, as we sort of wind up, what do you think is in style right now in Nairobi or in Kenya? Well, let me say Nairobi. Kenya is too wide. Nairobi right now, like what's in style for both men and women? What would you say is in style
What
right
is
now?
in style? So I don't style based on trends.
Yeah. No, I mean, but you do observe the trends. Like, are you able to identify the trends?
I am able to
Yeah,
identify
yeah.
the trends. What is in style now? I think street style is taking shape in Nairobi a lot more.
So you reckon we've moved away from the skinny, slim fit? So you think we've moved away from
people are
like the
moving
fitting?
from
Yeah.
the fitted to more relaxed silhouettes and cuts for their clothes now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both men and women.
And female, yeah.
Okay.
Of course, a fitted dress will always
Be a fitted
do
dress.
the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are moving to more relaxed cuts and silhouettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll see. I mean, I'm not someone I wouldn't qualify myself in any way as someone who's stylish or fashionable, but
I mean, you dress well for yourself.
I dress comfortable. Like whatever makes me feel comfortable, that's what I wear. That is my number one and only priority, to be honest with you. Yeah. I do not think I have put any more thought than am I going to be comfortable in this today? Yeah. And if I'm not, like sometimes even if I wear something and I don't like how it feels, I'll just take it off and
I think comfort is
else.
an important part.
Yeah.
No one considers it as a thing, but comfort is a key thing.
Yeah.
So because I work a lot with performers and people who speak in public or in front of a group, speak to a lot of groups of people and are seen or followed by cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Comfort is important.
Yeah.
Comfort is important. Comfort is very important. Because again, imagine if you're putting someone in a dress that is short and they have to it sort of affects how their performance or their thing they're working on is, because now the focus shifts from them focusing on their work, they're focusing on this outfit. Yeah. And how not to be...
how to ensure that they don't get seen or weird picture, whatever the case is. Do you think, I mean, because you've talked about how influencers have even, contributed to the disruption of your work in your space. Do you think AI in any way will continue to disrupt your space further?
AI is coming for everyone's job.
Yeah.
Literally everyone's.
Yeah.
So it's just how to figure out how to incorporate AI to whatever you're already doing.
Yeah.
How to better it. How can AI think like you and you use it as a tool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even right now, there are things that you're, I guess, considering and
I'm
trying to
about
bring into your business model and the way that you work.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll be interesting to see what happens, I think, for the whole creative industry. And I mean, people are already complaining. Like, so for example, I mean, we look at last year and people were really complaining about the Safaricom billboards, the ones that they got that they were AI generated. So that's money that has gone out of your pocket.
Because that's a lot of production that has... So let me give you context.
There's like
at shoot for that billboard, there is a production company. Yeah. Right? They hire... Production companies are the ones who get the contract. So they hire a stylist, photographer, hair, makeup, studio, catering,
models,
drivers. That's like drivers, set runners, lighting, all those things. Yeah. And then these things, there's rent there. So there's a whole food chain of about 20 people that if they use the image to generate using AI, who have missed work. Yeah.
Chaos, I guess. Anyway,
you see how that spills over to a lot of people. Yeah. So that one shoot that would have paid 20 people has not happened.
Yeah. It's now paid the guy in the agency who's prompting the AI. Yeah. He was putting the AI prompts.
So all of you, from that one move, 20 people to 25 have become redundant.
Yeah. So it's almost like I want to ask you to predict the future, which of course you can't. I guess we'll just see what happens.
Well, it's a thing you see, and then it's moving too fast, so you can't really predict, and it doesn't have... It's like Gen Z. Yeah. No form. Very formless, leaderless, very... So it takes whichever form it feels like, depending on how people prompt it and how people... and how it advances.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for coming, Brian.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the insight into the styling world. I mean, the different ways that you make money and the money that's there to be made and the clarifications as well. It's fantastic. And for the clarification with the, ministry debacle as well. Yeah.
Well, hope it doesn't come to bite me back.
I doubt it. Yeah. There's nothing. I mean,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys, for paying attention. Listen to our episode. Please subscribe, and we will see you on the next episode.